Today, we'll be exploring Bannack, Montana, a remarkably well-preserved ghost town that's now protected as Bannack State Park. With it being a state park, I was surprised by how incredibly difficult it was to find and access. But I guess the state of Montana didn't exactly get to choose its location. It is, after all, a ghost town. Bannack is one of those rare places where an entire chapter of the American West is still physically standing. Today, it's a ghost town in southwestern Montana, and as you'll see, it still has more than 50 historic buildings preserved along what was once its main street. But Bannack wasn't always some tiny, forgotten settlement. It was once one of the most important places in early Montana history. In the span of just a few years, it went from an isolated creek valley to a booming gold town and eventually became Montana Territory's first capital.
The allure of gold and adventure brought people to this area of southwestern Montana beginning in the year 1862.
Almost as quickly as Bannack rose to prominence, the center of Montana life moved elsewhere, beginning the long process that eventually turned the town into the ghost town you see today. The town's story began in the summer of 1862 when prospectors arrived at Grasshopper Creek searching for gold. Then, on July 28th, 1862, a group led by John White discovered gold here. The strike became the first major gold discovery in what would become Montana, and word spread rapidly. Within roughly a year, thousands of people poured into Bannack, hoping to make their fortunes. The sudden influx of people transformed Bannack from a mining camp into a functioning frontier town with hotels, saloons, stores, blacksmith shops, stables, boarding houses, and other businesses appearing along its main street. Along Main Street, you could also find Bannack's Masonic Lodge and Schoolhouse, which was built in the 1870s. With the influx of people and the creation of a new town built from the ground up, the town actually grew faster than formal law enforcement could keep up. So robberies and violence became serious problems throughout the surrounding gold country. In 1863, Henry Plummer was elected sheriff of Bannack and the surrounding mining district. Plummer was later accused of secretly leading a gang of road agents responsible for robberies and murders throughout the region. Whether Plummer was actually their leader remains historically disputed, making him one of the more controversial figures in Montana history. With residents increasingly frustrated by crime, vigilantes began taking justice into their own hands, and in January 1864, vigilantes captured Plummer and two of his deputies and hanged them in Bannack without a conventional trial. As mentioned earlier, this building is Bannack's Masonic Lodge and Schoolhouse, which wasn't built until the 1870s, which was about a decade after the hanging of Sheriff Henry Plummer. This particular building along Bannack's Old Main Street is especially unusual, though, because its history is not entirely history. Bannack Historic Lodge 3777 still holds an annual meeting in the upstairs lodge room every September. I absolutely love how the sign for the antique merry-go-round does not say keep off or do not touch. It just says use at your own risk. As mentioned earlier, it was in January 1864 that vigilantes captured Sheriff Henry Plummer and 2 of his deputies and hanged them in Bannack without a conventional trial. That same year, Montana Territory was created and Bannack was selected as its first territorial capital. But Bannack's time at the center of Montana history was remarkably brief. An even larger gold rush had developed around Alder Gulch and Virginia City, drawing people and economic activity away from Bannack. In 1865, the territorial capital moved to Virginia City after only about a year in Bannack. Bannack didn't immediately become a ghost town, though. Mining continued for decades, and families continued living here as the population gradually declined. This is partially evidenced by the Masonic Lodge and schoolhouse we saw earlier, which was not built until the 1870s, which of course was after Montana Territory's capital moved from Bannack to the much more booming Virginia City. The town's isolation became an increasing disadvantage, particularly as railroads and other development bypassed the town. By the mid-20th century, mining had largely ended and the last residents had left, turning Bannack into the ghost town we see today. Now, if you all will excuse me, I do need to use the restroom. Just kidding. Fun or not so fun fact: multi-seat privies like the one you just saw were not particularly unusual in the 19th and early 20th centuries. Some institutional outhouses had 3, 4, or even more seats. So, as you can imagine, privacy standards at the time were different. The building we're in right now was Bannack's church, but it was not built until 1877. It was a Methodist or Protestant church, and these were especially common in 19th century Western mining settlements, reflecting the religious backgrounds of many American settlers moving west. The fact that the church was not built until 1877, though, is a pretty important thing to note. In fact, in an 1863 letter from one of Bannack's residents, she complained about the camp's lack of religion and its general immorality, which is delightfully on brand for an early gold rush town. In 1954, after mining in Bannack had essentially ended and the last residents had left, Bannack became a Montana state park. The state park preserves more than 50 historic structures, as well as the town's cemetery down the road, a surviving record of the people who actually lived and died during Bannack's rise and decline. Although Sheriff Henry Plummer was buried at Bannack after his execution, you will not find him in the town's main cemetery. Plummer and his 2 deputies were reportedly buried in shallow graves in Hangman's Gulch near the gallows. As much as I would really like to stay and explore this more, I'm not gonna lie, I'm scared of snakes. So I'm gonna peace on out of here. And that, my friends, was the ghost town of Bannack, Montana. Stay tuned for a tour of Virginia City, another Montana gold rush town that had a slightly different fate.